Hi students, this is Kiran Kumar, Maths faculty, IIT JEE. Now, I am going to start the definite integration. So first of all, let me explain what is integration of a function. Already we know the differentiation of a function. d by dx of a function f of x is equal to small f of x. For example, if I take any capital F of x function, if I do the differentiation of this function, then I'll get a small f of x function as the output. If I do the differentiation for capital F of x, then I'll get small f of x as the answer. So what is integration? Integration is nothing but the antiderivative. Integration is nothing but the antiderivative. Means if I write this as derivative of capital F of x, d by dx is nothing but totally it is a derivative, no? So derivative of capital F of x is equal to small f of x. Now I'll bring this derivative to right side. Then what happens? Capital F of x is equal to 1 by derivative of small f of x. So this 1 by derivative is called the antiderivative. Antiderivative means if you derivate the capital F of x function, then you will get small f of x. Or if you antiderivate the small f of x, then you will get the answer capital F of x. So this antiderivative 1 by d also can be called as integration. We can call it as also integration. That's what we are going to learn now. That what is antiderivative means what is integration. Integration is nothing but exactly the reciprocal of the derivative. 1 by derivative is nothing but the antiderivative, which is also can be called as integration. Means if I do the derivative of capital F of x, then I'll get small f of x. If I do the integration of small f of x, then I'll get the capital F of x. So let us see once again. If I do the derivative of capital F of x plus 1, if I do the derivative of capital F of x plus 1, then what happens? What I'll get the answer? Derivative of capital F of x is already we know small f of x plus derivative of constant is what? 0. What about derivative of capital F of x minus 3? Derivative of capital F of x is small f of x minus derivative of 3 is also 0. Means if I do the derivative of capital F of x plus constant, then also I got only small f of x. If I do the derivative of capital F of x minus constant, then also I got small f of x. Means if I do the derivative of capital F of x plus or minus any constant, c may be negative also, then it will be minus constant. If c is plus, then it is positive constant. So if f of x plus c, if I do the derivative, then always I will get the answer as what? Small f of x only. Now from here I'll go for the antiderivative. F of x plus c is equal to 1 by d into small f of x. Where this small f 1 by d can be written as what? We can call it as integration. So we are giving a symbol for the integration. Every time I will not write it as antiderivative, I can't write. So that's why I am giving a special symbol for this antiderivative, that is integral symbol. Instead of 1 by d, I'll write as integration. Integration function dx. Clear? So write it as integral f of x is equal to capital F of x plus c. Means if I do the derivative of capital F of x, then I'll get a small f of x. But if I do the derivative integration of small f of x, then definitely I'll get capital F of x plus also a constant. Constant maybe or a negative, or a positive or a negative. So why we are getting extra constant here when I do the antiderivative or integration? Because of this. Means if you do the derivative for only f of x, then you'll get small f of x. Or if you do the derivative of capital F of x plus constant, then also you get small f of x. Or if you do the derivative of capital F of x minus constant, then also you get a small f of x. So if you do the derivative of constant f of x plus constant, then you will get small f of x. That's why antiderivative of small f of x is nothing but capital F of x plus c. So what about this c? If c is there for the function and if c is not there for the function, then what happens? So how we can see the graphs of this f of x plus c? So there may be so many graphs where c may be any real number, c can be a real number. Now see the graphs. For example, if f of x graph is like this, some random graph I am taking. If this is f of x, capital F of x, then what about f of x plus c? F of x plus c is always parallel to capital F of x. So only the difference is what? Constant. It may be below the f of x by constant difference, or it may be above the f of x by constant difference. For example, if constant is negative, then it must be below the f of x. So graph will be like this. So there is a distance everywhere. How much? Constant c. The distance between these two points is always small. The shortest distance between points is c. Everywhere. Everywhere it is. So I can write it as capital F of x plus some c1. Plus c1 means c1 may be negative. So I can write it as minus c1 or plus c1 or minus c1. C1 may be negative or positive. So if I add a constant for f of x, then I will get a graph parallel to f of x only, but above the f of x. So here also the difference is how much? C. The difference is c only. So this is capital F of x plus some c2. So instead of writing sometimes minus c1 plus c2 or plus 0, we'll write always plus c as a constant. Clear to all now? So this is the integration of a function. When you do, then you'll get not only a single function, you'll get infinitely many functions. F of x is a single function only, but when you have added constant, what is that constant? How many constants are possible? C belongs to R, means infinitely many constants are possible. So when you do the integration of small f of x, you may get capital F of x plus 1, or capital F of x plus 2, or capital F of x minus 3. So like that you can get infinitely many functions. So all those functions I am writing together as a single function, capital F of x plus c. But this is not an equation of single function. It involves infinitely many functions inside it. So all these functions are what? Only the integration of one small f of x. The integration of one small f of x will give infinitely many answers. Clear? Next, we'll go for some examples. Simple examples we'll go for to understand it better. First example. If question is given that solve dy is equal to dx, if this is the question, or if you want to write it as a derivative, then it is nothing but what? Actually dy by dx is equal to 1, means I am dividing both the sides by dx. Dy by dx is equal to dx by dx, which is dy by dx is equal to 1. Derivative of y is nothing but f of x. So instead of f of x we can write y also. So derivative of function is equal to 1. For any function, if the derivative is 1, if the derivative is the 1, then what does it mean? What does it mean? That the derivative of a function, if it is means the tangent of a curve f of x, the tangent of the curve f of x, everywhere it is 1 only. The slope of the tangent is always 1. That is the meaning of derivative is equal to 1. So he gave derivative is equal to 1, that we can written as dy is equal to dx. Then what should be the curve? For what? For that the derivative is equal to 1. This is the question. Understood, no? So I can apply integration on both the sides. Integration of dy is equal to integration of dx. So if nothing is there in between, means there is 1. 1 into dy is dy only, 1 into dx is dx only. Just what I did, I have applied antiderivative on both the sides. So what is integration of 1 dy? Or we'll see the right side one. What is the integration of 1 dx? Integration of 1 dx means what is the function? What is the function for which you will get the derivative as 1? That is called the antiderivative. That is the meaning of the antiderivative. For which function, if you do the derivative, you will get answer as 1. That function we should write here. That is called antiderivative. Actually, what we do? Derivative of a function. Actually, we do derivative of a function means we will write directly the derivative of the function. But here it is antiderivative of 1. Antiderivative of 1 means that for which function if you do the derivative, then we'll get the answer 1. That answer we should write here. So for which function derivative is 1? For x. If you do the derivative of x, answer is how much? 1 only, no? So antiderivative of 1 means x must be the answer. That is x plus a constant. Whenever you do indefinite integration, we should add a c. Why? Because if you do the derivative of x plus c, what you get answer as 1 only, no? If you do the derivative of x, it is 1. Or if you do the derivative of x plus constant, then also answer is 1. Or if you do the derivative of x minus constant, then also answer is 1. Means if you do the derivative of x plus a constant, then answer must be always 1. Means the antiderivative of 1 is always x plus c. Some constant I am taking as some c1. Okay. Now what is the similar way? What is the derivative of 1 with respect to y? If derivative of 1 with respect to x, sorry, integration of 1 with respect to x is x, in the same way, what is the integration of 1 with respect to y? Integration of 1 with respect to y is y plus some constant c2. Now we can write it as y is equal to x plus c1 minus c2. Just I brought this c2 to right side. Then y is equal to x plus c1 minus c2 together is also a constant. So instead of writing two constants, I can write a single constant. So y is equal to x plus c is the answer. Already know the graph of y is equal to x plus c. We'll see the graph. X axis, y axis. If c is 0, then what happens? We'll get the line y is equal to x. This is y is equal to x. If c is equal to 1, then what happens? You'll get the height of 1 unit above the line, but the line must be parallel to y is equal to x. So this line is y is equal to x plus 1. If c is equal to minus 1, then it should be 1 unit below of this y is equal to x. So this is the line where y is equal to x minus 1. So for all these lines, if you see the derivative is 1 unit. Why? Because angle is how much? 45 degrees. So slope is what? Slope is nothing but tan theta, tan 45 degrees. Tan 45 degrees is 1. Slope is nothing but the derivative. Derivative is nothing but the slope of the tangent at a particular point. So if you take any point in this line, the derivative of that at that point is always how much? 1. Means slope is always 1. So for all these functions, the derivative is 1. You understood now? So dy by dx is equal to 1 is given, or dy is equal to dx is given. Both are actually same. So for which function that derivative is 1? That is the actual meaning of the question. For which function derivative is equal to 1? For y is equal to x, the derivative is equal to 1. For y is equal to x plus 1 also, the derivative is equal to 1. For y is equal to x minus 1 also, the derivative is equal to 1. So all the functions together, I can write as a single function where y is equal to x plus c. The derivative of y is equal to x plus c is how much? 1. You can check, you can do the derivative on both the sides with x, with respect to x. We'll see this. So do the derivative just to check the answer whether it is correct or not. Derivative with respect to x, dy by dx, then dx by dx. Derivative of x is equal to how much? 1 plus derivative of constant is how much? 0. 1 plus 0 is 1. So that's what we got the question. This is only the question. So when you do the integration, you won't get a unique answer. You will get some combination of some answers as a single expression. Clear to all? Yes, we'll go for some more examples. To solve the integration, clearly we should know the derivative of all the functions. For all the functions, we should know the derivative. Logarithm functions, exponential functions, algebraic functions, all the functions, trigonometric functions. For all those functions, we should know clearly the derivatives such that we can find out the antiderivative of all those. Next question, solve x into dy is equal to dx. This is the question. X into dy is equal to dx. I can do I can apply integration on both the sides, no problem. But here it is integration of dy. Here it is integration of dy, but the x variable is there extra. When you do the integration with respect to y, you can do the integration for only y variables, not for the x variables. If x variables are there, means you can do the integration with respect to x, not with respect to y. So here extra x is there, that's why we should remove this x. How to remove? We can bring this to right side. So I can write it as dy is equal to 1 by x into dx. Now apply the integration on both sides. Integral dy is equal to integral 1 by x dx. So integral dy means integral 1 dy, integration of 1 by x dx. So what is the integration of 1 with respect to y? That is y. Now what is the integration of 1 by x dx? What does it mean? Integration of 1 by x dx means what? So already I told you in the last question that for which function if you do the derivative, for which function if you do the derivative, you will get answer as 1 by x. For which function if you do the derivative, you will get the answer as 1 by x. That function must be our answer. So which function if you do the derivative, you will get 1 by x. You know already, that is log x. So answer is here log of mod x plus c1. So here I can write y plus c2. If you do the integration here also, you will get some constant c2, here some c1 or c1 c2. So I can write y is equal to log of mod x plus c2 minus c1 together is a constant. So for these two integrations, I can write that simple constant. So from the next questions onwards, I can't write c1 c2 every time. Will not write. Simply I'll write a constant c. Why? Because after balancing all the constants, I got a single constant c. That is the meaning. So here integration of 1 by x dx is log of mod x. How we got? Since derivative of log of mod x is what? Derivative of log of mod x is 1 by x. Derivative of log x is 1 by x. Because of that, integration of 1 by x is log of mod x plus constant. Any doubt in this? Clear now? Okay. We will move for the next question. If you want to see the graphs of all this log of mod x plus c, you can draw all those like this. This is log x. This is log of x plus c1, log of x plus c2, log of x plus c3, log of x plus c4. So all these are the parallel graphs of log of mod x plus c. Clear? Next. So go for next question. Next, y is equal to 3x square dx. This is the question. Y is equal to 3x square dx. Solve this. For which function y is equal to, dy is equal to 3x square dx. So just what we do, we apply integration on both the sides. Integral dy is equal to integral 3x square dx. Integral dy is nothing but integral 1 dy. Integral 1 dy is what? Y plus constant c1 I will not write. Now from now onwards, at last after writing all answers, I can write there plus c, extra constant c. So every time it is not necessary to write the constant here. So integration of dy is y. And what about the integration of 3x square? What does it mean? Integration of 3x square means what? For which function if you do the derivative, you will get answer as 3x square. For which function if you do the derivative, you will get answer as 3x square, that is x cube. So in derivative of, since derivative of x cube is 3x square, the integration of 3x square is x cube. So integration of 3x square is how much? X cube. So I can write it as x cube. So here one constant, here also one constant. Overall I can write a single constant. If you see the graphs of all this, graphs will be like this. First, if I take c as 0, then y is equal to x cube. This is the graph of y is equal to x cube. This is y is equal to x cube. Then about if I write c as 1, means we should lift this graph by 1 unit. You get graph like this. Parallel graph. So this is y is equal to x cube plus 1. If c is equal to minus 1, y is equal to x cube minus 1, just 1 unit below this graph like this. So this is y is equal to x cube minus 1. All these graphs are what? Parallel graphs. All the graphs are parallel graph. But the derivative of all these graphs will be what? Always 3x square only. What is the derivative of x cube plus 1? 3x square. What is the derivative of x cube? 3x square. What is the derivative of x cube minus 1? Even then also it is 3x square. For all these functions, derivative is 3x square. That's why antiderivative of 3x square is x cube plus a constant. X cube plus constant. Constant belongs to what? All the real numbers. You take c as any real number, it will be always correct. Clear? So some more questions will go for. Fourth question, that if dy is equal to 1 by x into dx, where y of minus 1 is equal to 2. See, what is the difference between this question and the previous second question? Difference is here. I gave there also dy is equal to 1 by x to dx only, but I haven't mentioned the condition. Here condition is y of minus 1 is equal to 2. So by using this condition, whatever the unknown c value is there now, so that c value you have to find out and we will resubstitute here. So we'll see. What is the answer for dy is equal to 1 by x to dx? Antiderivative dy is equal to antiderivative means integration 1 by x dx. Derivative integration is y, integration is log of mod x plus. For all these two integrations, I can write a simple constant. This was our last answer, but here extension is there for the question. What he said that if y of minus 1 is equal to 2, then what is the function? If y of minus 1 is equal to 2, y means here function f. So he indirectly gave that f of minus 1 is equal to 2. That is the actual meaning. F of minus 2 means f of x is f of minus 1 means f of x is equal to some constant he gave. So here minus 1 is the x value and y is the 2 value. Clear? So we'll substitute x equal to minus 1 in the answer and y is equal to 2 inside the answer. Substitute 2 instead of y and substitute minus 1 instead of x. So log of modulus of minus 1 plus constant. 2 is equal to modulus of minus 1 is 1. Log 1 is how much? 0. So 0 plus a constant. So from here we will get c is equal to how much? 2. So we will resubstitute this c is equal to 2 inside this answer. So what is the actual answer? Y is equal to log of mod x plus 2. So by this we know that whatever the condition he gave, no, so that condition is only to find out the c value. To find out this constant value only he gave the condition. If condition is not given, then this is the final answer. But since the condition is given, this condition is true for only one function. Means for one c value only this condition is correct. So we need to find out that c value. So to find out that c value, we need to substitute x value and y value inside this solution. Then you will get particular c value. Resubstitute that particular c value. So out of this infinitely many solutions, only one solution can be having this condition, satisfying this condition. By that we can find out the c value. Clear to all now? Okay. Next question. Y into dy is equal to x into dx. Y into dy is equal to x into dx. So integration y dy is equal to integration x dx. Integration of y is what? Integration of y means what is the function for which the derivative is y? Y square by 2. Since the derivative of d by dx of x square by 2 is how much? What is the derivative of x square? 2x by 2. So answer is how much? X. So to get x as the answer, we should derive to x square by 2. So that's why integration of x dx answer is x square by 2. Similarly, integration of y dy answer is y square by 2. So for both the integrations, I can use a single constant. So I can write it as y square is equal to x square plus 2c. Take the LCM. 2c is also a constant. 2c is also a constant. So I can write it as y square is equal to x square plus a simple constant, capital A, R, C, or B, anything you can write. Clear? Now we will go with some formulas. Formulas are needed. See, for each and every simple question, I can't find the answer and then I use this in a big question. So for this, what we do? For simple questions, priorly we'll find out some formulas. Means we'll find out the answers and we'll treat them as formulas. So wherever in a big question we solve, if I get a integration of sin x, directly I can write the answer as minus cos. Somewhere I'll get the integration of e power x. So directly I can write e power x plus a constant. Like that, priorly we should have some data with us such that to save the time in a big question. Okay. So those formulas I am going to write here. Simple formulas only. integration of x power n dx is equal to x power n plus 1 by n plus 1 plus constant. Next, integration of a power x dx. Here for which function the derivative will be a power x? For which function the derivative will be a power x? A power x into a power x by log e. So or a power x base e log e base log e also we can say. So I can write it as a power x by log a plus c. Here base is e, or you can bring this log to numerator and you can rewrite it as a power x into log e base e also we can write it as plus constant. Next, what is the integration of e power x dx? Integration of e power x is e power x only plus c. Do the derivative of e power x, we'll get once again e power x only. Next, integration of 1 by x dx. Already I told now, that is log of mod x plus c. Next, integration of trigonometric functions will go with. Integration of sin x is what? Minus cos x plus c. Next, integration of cos x is sin x plus c. Next, integration of tan x. This is log of mod secant x plus c, or we can write it as minus log of cos x plus c. Both are actually correct only. Means if you bring this minus to inside the logarithm, it will come as the power of cos x minus 1. So 1 by cos x is nothing but secant x. Both are actually correct. So integration of cot x dx is equal to log of mod cosecant x with minus plus c, or you can write it as log of mod sin x. So this is also having two formulas. Next, integration of secant x dx, which is log of mod secant x plus tan x plus c, or we can write it as minus log of mod secant x minus tan x plus c, or we can write it as log of mod tan of pi by 4 plus x by 2. All these three are the same answers. We can use any answer. Integration of cosecant x dx is log of mod cosecant x minus cot x plus c, or minus log of mod cosecant x plus cot x plus c, or we can write log of mod tan of x by 2 plus, whichever you write, all those are correct only. Next, integration of secant square x dx is equal to tan x plus c. Integration of cosecant square x dx is equal to minus cot x plus c, or integration of secant x into tan x dx is equal to secant x plus c, and integration of cosecant x into cot x is equal to minus cosecant x plus c. Next, integration of 1 by a square plus x square dx is 1 by a into tan inverse of x by a plus c. Integration of 1 by a square minus x square dx. This is 1 by 2a into log of mod a plus x by a minus x plus c. Integration of 1 by a square, sorry, x square minus a square. x square minus a square dx is equal to 1 by 2a log of mod x minus a by x plus a plus c. So there are so many other formulas also which we will do for the next class. In the next class I will discuss remaining formulas, but you should know all these formulas. For each and every formula I can't do the problem once again. If I do the question, then definitely I'll get the answer, but that is a waste of time. So clearly we should be ready with these formulas such that we can use these simple things in a big problem. Okay, only in next class we'll meet. Thank you.